Today we have a FA Cup, a fifth round tie, and also a draw to find out who we will play in the Europa League of knockout stages. And all this going on while we're trying to focus on winning the Premier League title. Hello and welcome to episode 15 of Irons in the Fire as we try and make West Ham good and great again. My name's Mark, and on today's episode we have for you the draw for the Europa League knockout stages, the last 16, and we'll be having that very, very shortly. We've got lots on today's episode, so we're not mess around too much. We've also got a roundup of our transfer window, a roundup of what's been happening in the game since you were last with us, and we've got a Premier League match day 27 against Newcastle and an FA Cup fifth round tie against Plymouth Argyle at Home Park. So all that coming up in today's episode. If you do enjoy today's episode, leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification button. It all helps on here on YouTube. And leave me some comments. Let me know how you think this series is going. And as we come to the end of our other series that's going out at the moment, Project Turnaround, then we will be starting a new FM24 series week on Monday. When's this going out? Yeah, week on Tuesday, sorry. What you need to know is we need to know is what you'd like us to do in this FM24 series. If you've got any ideas, drop them down in the comments. I'll be pleased to see them. Right, without any more messing around, let's have the draw for the Europa League last 16 and see who we are going to play in the knockout stages. And here we are getting the draw underway, and we start off. We are seeded team. So there's two pots. There's unseeded teams and seeded teams. The seeded teams are Roma, Ajax, Atalanta, Bayer Leverkusen, Zagreb, Dynamo Zagreb, Liverpool, Sporting Club of Portugal, and West Ham. All sides that won their groups. And then the sides that come second but have played off, got through the second thing is Atletico Madrid, Red Bull Salzburg, Feyenoord, Marseille, Eindhoven, Lens, Leipzig, and Real Sociedad. These teams will come out first. Obviously, it's because it's two-leg, the advantage of being at home in the second leg to the teams that won their groups. So let's get on with it. First out is Atletico Madrid. They will play Bayer Leverkusen. Bayer Leverkusen. We've been out first in a few draws just lately, so not today. Second match, Lens will play West Ham. We're going to be playing Lens of France in the draw. We'll continue with the draw. Red Bull Salzburg will play Ajax. Real Sociedad will play Roma. Feyenoord will play Liverpool. RB Leipzig will play Atalanta. Marseille will play Sporting Club Portugal. And PSV Eindhoven will play Dynamo Zagreb. So that is the draw for the Europa League knockout stages. We will be playing Lens in our match, home and away. Away first, home second, and we'll have that all in one episode. Let's go and have a look at how that looks in the schedule. And here we are, Lens. We will play them either side of Luton Town. So that coming up in its own episode. The only thing is, of course, that could muddy the waters a little bit is the FA Cup. If we're presuming we can get through past Plymouth, which we would hope that we could, then it will come in. I think it's due around about the 16th of March is the quarter-final. So it could be that the Manchester United game is displaced from there. So we'll just have to watch how that pans out. But I'm thinking that the Lens away and home legs in the next episode, and then it possibly Manchester United and Brighton, or an FA Cup quarter-final and Brighton in the episode after that. Right, before we proceed any further, let's have a look at the transfers. We have had a little bit of transfer activity. The window is now slammed shut. We did bring in 2 players in the end. Friedel came in from Werder Bremen for 12.75 million, and Dashi Kamada came in from Lazio for 17 million pounds. Marco Friedel is a he can play defensive midfield. He can play as a central defender. He can also play as a fullback on the left or a wing back on the left. So he's quite versatile. Can actually play on the right as well. Not particularly good as a right wing back, right wing back, should I say? Just get that out right. But I think out of our choice, we're probably playing more often than not as a central defender. That's he's coming to replace Agard really, but depending on how fitness is, whether he fits into there. As you see, he's played 4 games for us so far, and he's starting to build his form a little bit. Started off with a 6.5. His last game was a 7.8. We'll come to those games in just a moment. Dashi Kamada, he's Japanese. He's come in from Lazio. He can play in anything up through that middle, really. Obviously, we're not playing wide players up front at the moment. Can play in midfield. He can play as an attacking midfielder, which is where we're probably going to use him more often than not. But I can also drop in as a striker as well if we so need him. He's just played 1 game for us so far. Needs to settle in a 6.7 off his first game. He's 3.5 star current, 3.5 star potential ability. Right, going out. As we mentioned, Agard did go to Newcastle in the end. 36.5 million up front, 47.5 million with add-ons, and Maxwell Cornet, who was grumbling away in the background. We managed to get rid of him. He went to Hoffenheim for £12.5 million in the end. Right, the games that we haven't touched on before we look at the Newcastle game. Fulham, last time out, Aldershot and Chelsea, of course. We've played Fulham, Wolves and Burnley offline. Haven't conceded a goal in those 3 games. Fulham game, it was full of fun. Souček getting 2 goals, Fornells and Alvarez the other scorers. 22 shots, 12 on target, 5.16 on the XG against their 7 and 4, a 0.61. So we've done the double over Fulham, and very, very well. Wolves, we beat 6-0. 24 shots, 11 on target, 2.97. 9 shots, 4 on target, 0.70 for Wolves. Alvarez, Bowen getting 2, Kufel getting 2, Watkins getting the other one. And the Burnley game, it was a very dark affair, really. I didn't think... we got a lead through Souček after 10 minutes. And despite having a lot of opportunities, 19 shots, 11 of them on target, and 0.24 on the XG, didn't really put our chances away, snatching a lot of them. Burnley had 12 shots, 4 on target, 1.05. Either way, it was an away win, and that's what we sought out to do. But this is how it leaves us in the table going into this round of matches. Do have a game in hand over Liverpool, who've played in front of us. I think they actually played and drew, if I'm not greatly mistaken. Can we check that out? They did. They drew 1-1 with Fulham. So that's a bit peculiar. But we're top on 60 points. 2 points clear of Manchester City, who lost their last match. They are in second. Liverpool, as I say, they played their match in hand. They played on Friday night. They're on 55 points. We would go 8 points clear of them if we win today. Manchester United in fourth on 55 points. Tottenham are fifth on 50. Then Arsenal are sixth on 45. Aston Villa 7th on 43. Today's opponents, of course, Newcastle are currently down in 9th on 40 points, 1-2, drawn 1, lost 2 in their last 5 games. Sheffield United, Fulham and Luton Town in that drop zone. Fulham off the bottom at last. I don't know for how long, though, because if Luton win their game in hand, they would go back onto the bottom. But, yeah, they have actually moved off the bottom, which is something, I suppose, and still got to hope that they might just get themselves out of that relegation zone. Right, let's get on with the episode. We have a game first up against Newcastle. We have played them twice previously. Premier League beat them 3-2 at St James's Park. It was a bit of a ding-dong affair, if I remember rightly. Bowen taking the lead after 10 minutes. Sahir after getting the equaliser after 21. Jarrod Bowen equalising almost straight away. Oh, no, sorry. Jarrod Bowen took the lead. Paqueta got a second to make it 2. They got 1 back after 21. Jarrod Bowen making it 3-1 after 22. And then Isaac getting a goal after 42. All the goals coming in the first half, a 3-2 win in that one, and we beat them in the FA Cup third round here at the London Stadium. 4 goals on that one. Watkins, Souček from the penalty spot, Creswell and Bowen, the scorers on that occasion. Another result like that today would be rather splendid in our quest to win the Premier League. Let's go and have a look at the team that will face Newcastle. But just before we do that, James Ward-Prowse is suspended. What I didn't tell you, in the Burnley game, he got sent off for a second yellow card. I think you may have seen it, but he got a yellow card after 61. 6 minutes later, got a second yellow card, got sent off, and he's missing from this game. Newcastle don't have Lewis Hall, who is actually one of our players. He's on loan with them, so he can't play today. Joe Linton is out with a sprained knee ligament, and Sashkar is a doubtful with a hip injury. And here is the team that will face Newcastle in this match day 27 in the Premier League. Areola is in goal. Emerson, Friedel, who you will see for the first time. Mavropanos, Kufal, Carrera, Souček and Alvarez in midfield. Kudus continues as the shadow striker behind Bowen and Watkins up front. Frabinski, Creswell, Paqueta, Thomas, Zuma, Kamada, Ings, Johnson and Furnells all on the bench. And this is how the two sides face up in this one. We're playing our usual formation. Won 4 of our last 5, drawn the other one. Newcastle, as I said, 1-2, lost 2, drawn 1. They're playing a flat back 3 with 2 wing backs, Trippier being one of them. They are currently in 9th place on 40 points. We're top on 60. We've waited a long time for our first highlight, half an hour in fact. Mavropanos with the long throw, but Alvarez heading it over the top. Mavropanos now with a free kick in the centre circle to Kufal. Mavropanos, Kufal, Souček in midfield. He's running about. Carrera, Bowen out to Emerson. Emerson's in and puts it into that danger zone. And Kudus gets his 5th goal of the season on 35 minutes. And we've undone Newcastle. Not an easy thing to do. Bowen going out wide to Emerson. And that ball cut back. Defender didn't get it. Or if he did, it deflected it to Kudus. And Kudus put it away. Souček cutting that pass from Amiron out. Emerson. Friedel. Friedel through to Carrera. Souček. Souček back to Friedel. Friedel moving it around, looking for a way through. Being very patient here. Mavropanos comes forward. Kufal. Kufal to Alvarez. Souček. Souček into space. Ooh, just over the top. I'm not sure if it was Alvarez who put it over the top. And another highlight. This time, ball cut out by Souček. Friedel. Emerson. Souček. Souček finds Mavropanos. Kufal. Alvarez comes forward. He's got Kufal there in front of him. Mavropanos, Alvarez, Watkins switches it up. Kudus is in again. And this time Pope making a fine save, and it's gone out for a corner. Gerard Bowen with a corner on that far side. Bowen takes it. It's deep, and it's gone past everybody. Lovely through ball. Kudos getting in. But unfortunately, should have probably sided it to Bowen. It's all over. No more highlights in that first half. 9 shots, 4 on target, 2.10. We've only had 38% of the possession. Newcastle have had 62% of the possession, but they've not had a shot, and they've not had a shot on target. I think that tells a story. And no highlights so far in this second half. It's been a very lacklustre again, which is a bit of a worry, because we were a bit like this against Burnley. I'm not quite sure what. We seem to have lost the mojo a little bit at the moment. I'm not quite sure why. But we've taken off Gerard Bowen, who's not doing it today. We've replaced him with Raul de Thomas up front, and Edson Alvarez, who has got a yellow card and looks like he might get himself a second if he's not careful. Replaced him with Paqueta. Areola to Emerson, our first highlight of the second half. Just shortly after we've made the changes, Emerson cuts it inside to Kudus. Carrera comes forward. We're not seeing much of him this afternoon. Cuts it back. Souček! And it's gone through a bulk of people. 15th goal of the season for Souček, and makes the scoreline look a bit better. 2-0 on 72 minutes. Carrera, his first foray down there. Cut it back. Souček. And goalkeeper nearly getting it, but in the back of the net. And with nearly 83 minutes on the clock, making our final 3 changes, we have taken off Carrera. He's come off after making that foray, and first time we've seen him, but he's come off. Kurt Zuma comes on for him, and he's moved to the ball-winning midfielder. Souček moving out to the left side of that. Kudus is also tiring. He's had a good game. We've taken him off. We've brought Kamada on. He's better as an advanced playmaker. So he's tucked in behind Thomas and Watkins. And for our final change, we have taken off Vladimir Kufal, who was on a yellow card, and brought on Ben Johnson. Well, a game that was devoid of highlights. We're not going to see any more highlights, as it turns out. And yeah, that's a bit poor, I think. But we've got a 2-0 win and a clean sheet yet again against dogged Newcastle. Well, yeah, as you'll see, they didn't have a shot on target. Well, didn't have a shot or on target, but they did have 62% of the possession, which suggests that they held the possession really to try and stop us, which is, I think, with this defensive line here, didn't really have any impetus going forward. We stifled them pretty much from there. We scored our 2 goals from pretty much from chances that we had, albeit our chances probably ratio isn't particularly good at the moment. So yeah, Kudus after 35 then, and Souček after 72 giving us the win. Let's go and have a look and see how that affects the table. And with the matches played, this is how the table looks, with games Tottenham beating Arsenal in the London derby, and other notable results. Wolves drawing 2-2 with Manchester United. Manchester City weren't playing. I'm guessing they are playing on Sunday. So we are top on 63 points. 5 points clear of Manchester City at the moment, with them still to play. Manchester United only picking up a point today. So we have opened the gap to 7 points to them in third, 8 points to Liverpool in fourth, 10 points to Tottenham, who are in 5th. Arsenal are 6th on 45. Aston Villa are 7th on 44. So that is how it has settled. Sheffield United are close there. Fulham, their result today, I don't know that they played, did they? Don't think they played. So that's how it's ended up. Of course, they played Liverpool early, didn't they? What else can we tell you? I don't think there's a lot we can tell you. We've got 4 days down to the Plymouth game. I'll come back if there's any news between now and then. And we'll also then do a quick roundup of the tie before we have a look at the team that will face Plymouth. So with no news to tell you in between our games on today's episode, it is to the FA Cup 5th round against Plymouth Argyle at Home Park that we go. And they are currently in 18th place in the Championship. 34 games played, 37 points on the board. And this is the team that will face them in today's FA Cup tie. And here we go, the side then that faces Plymouth, and it's Areola in goal. Emerson, Friedel, Mavropanos and Kufal are defensive line. Souček, Zuma and Alvarez in central midfield. Ward-Prowse, of course, is suspended, having got a second yellow card and sent off. Kamada makes his debut and gets a start, sat behind Bowen and Watkins up front. Frabinski, Kahera, Paqueta, De Thomas, Creswell, Fornals, Kudos, Johnson and Benrahma all make the bench. And this is how Plymouth line up. Mark Bonner is their manager. They're playing a 4-2-3-1. And we're playing our now familiar formation. Our first highlight comes 28 minutes in, and Mavropanos with a free kick. Kufal comes forward on that wing, crosses it in. Ooh, and Kamada nearly had his debut goal, but it was the goalkeeper stopping it. Who is in goal for? It's Hazard, saving the day for Plymouth. We're going to see it again before the corner, I'm guessing. Kufal comes forward, crosses it in, and Kamada, first time hit, straight at the goalkeeper. Bowen with the corner then. It's deep one, and it's not coming down. Friedel with a free kick. Swings it in, it's deep. Mavropanos hits it. He hits it into the ground, and it beat everybody. And we go 1-up after 42 minutes. A cagey FA Cup tie, this one. Up until this point, he's headed down. Mavropanos hits it straight into the ground. Took a deflection. Plymouth with the ball out there, but it's been won back. Alvarez doing some good defensive work. Mavropanos to Kufal. Kufal has some support in front of him, but he's gone back to Mavropanos. Zuma. Souček to Bowen. Bowen, is he going to go out wide? He is. Emerson's out wide. Comes in, cross it into the area. Bowen, ooh, just wide of that post. I think it took a deflection. It's gone for a corner. Bowen then with the corner. Bowen. Emerson going on that run. Bowen running for it. Takes a swipe, and I think it was the goalkeeper saved it, actually. Bowen then. This one near post. Oh, goalkeeper saved again. And Hazard is having a absolute game in that goal today. He's saved 3 or 4 definites. Kamada with the corner. Deep. But it's headed clear. Only to Watkins, though. Watkins has Mavropanos outside the area. Back to Friedel. And half-time comes, just as I was commentating on that last highlight. 11 shots, 7 on target, 2.51. Yeah, and the goalkeeper has definitely saved them up to now. 50% of the possession. They've had 4 shots, 2 on target, 0.18 and 50% of the possession. We would have been about 3 or 4 up by now had it not been for Hazard. Our first highlight of the second half, Kamada with a corner. It's headed clear. Bowen tidies up. Bowen to Mavropanos. Kufal has a shot and Kufal scores. Goalkeeper just could not hold that shot. What a stupendous goal that was. Mavropanos just hit it so hard. I think the goalkeeper just, well, I don't know if it went through him or what happened. Kufal, lovely shot. Look at that. No, he never got anywhere near it, to be fair. Mavropanos with a long throw. Nobody getting on the end of that, though, this time. Mavropanos, Zuma. Back to Mavropanos. Kufal. Mavropanos. Kufal. Working their way backwards here. Zuma looking for a way through. He has Emerson out wide here. Emerson, he's gone into the area. He's had a go on his own and it's gone over. I think it was saved by Hazard again. He has definitely thwarted us today and made it more difficult than it is. Bowen, Mavropanos just wide of the post. It's taken a couple of inspired goals, really, to get past Hazard. Not just easy. And again, free kick. Kamada with the free kick. Oh, Alvarez just couldn't bring that down. And with 65 minutes on the clock, making 2 changes. Thomas Souček, he's coming off. He's tiring. And Carrera comes on for him. And we've replaced Gerard Bowen up front with Raul de Thomas. Mumba with a throw-in for Plymouth on that far side. Swung in. Bandu can't get underneath it. Sorry, can't get above it to bring it down is what I was trying to say. In close attendance by 2 defenders, Emerson and Carrera. And with 76 minutes on the clock, making our final 3 changes, we have taken off Edson Alvarez, brought on Lucas Paqueta in midfield. We've also taken off Emerson as the left wing back and brought on Aaron Creswell because he was tiring basically. And Kamada, who's not had such a good day in that attacking midfield role, he's come off, and we have brought on Kudus, who likes to play as the shadow striker. So we'll put him as the shadow striker. And they are all our changes. Mavropanos with a long throw. Carrera back to Mavropanos. Zuma just inside the box. Cross it in. It's bouncing around. And off the woodwork from Paqueta. Zuma in, comes off the post. And then Paqueta hits the post as well. Mavropanos with another long throw. Zuma this time brings it down. Zuma crosses it in, but it's cleared. Mavropanos is there. Zuma. Carrera holds the ball up. Zuma pumps it in. Watkins puts it away. In off the post. He's 11th goal of the season. And it's 3-0 on 86 minutes. And we have a quarter-final draw coming up for you at the start of the next episode by the looks of it. Watkins, and it was a good through ball and good goal. 5 minutes of injury time. We're in the 4th minute of those 5 minutes, and Plymouth have a highlight. It's gone out wide to Bundu, but Creswell is there but heads it back into the Plymouth half, and Bundu has another go. This time it's got through. Mavropanos cuts it out. He's had a fantastic game. Carrera. Watkins is going to get on the end of this one. Watkins, can he make it a second? He can. It's almost identical to his first. His 12th goal of the season. And we've made it look very special. 4-0 on 95 minutes. Carrera, lovely through ball to Watkins. Watkins with legs. And he just sized that one up and put it away. And it's all over. It's a 4-0 win against Plymouth. Mavropanos, who had a... Did he get player of the... He didn't. Vladimir Kufal got player of the match. Mavropanos, for me, was just outstanding. He really did have a fantastic thing. He attempted passes were 57, 96 of them he completed. He made, no, we're talking about Kufal now, aren't we? One key pass, one attempt completed. Attempts completed? Oh, crosses. One cross, one assist for Mavropanos. But Kufal, I suppose, 3 clear key passes, 2 clear-cut chances created. He was rather good in that wing-back position today. So, we've not had a bad day. Kurt Zouma also having a great game as well. An 8.3. Ollie Watkins got an 8.6, scoring 2 goals towards the end of that match as well. Seemed to get a little bit of oomph once Reed brought on Rauda Thomas, who took a bit of the pressure off him maybe. And kudos, he's settled in quite well. So Mavropanos on 42 then, Kufal 54, Ollie Watkins on 86 and 94, making it look a lot more easier than it was. Well, here's a roundup of today's FA Cup matches. Liverpool have beaten Chelsea on penalties. Manchester United went to extra time and beat Manchester City. Must have been 2-2 at full time, but they scored a goal. Holland after 110 minutes and Bernardo Fernandes after 120 minutes, giving them a 4-2 win. Norwich beating Crystal Palace 4-1. Nottingham Forest beating Fleetwood 4-1. We beat Plymouth 4-0, of course. Reading beating Stoke 3-2. Aston Villa beating Sheffield United 3-2. And Southampton beating Brighton. South Coast derby 3-1. They were 4th round replays. That's 5th round. No more 5th rounders at this time. I'm not sure if they all played today. 2, 4, 6. Yes, I think they did. So it's down to quarterfinals, and the draw for that coming at the start of the next episode. Talking about the next episode, we're going to play Arsenal offline. We're coming back for 2 legs against Lens. We will play Luton Town offline, but Lens away to start off with, and then home in the second leg. We go to the Stade Bollard d'Ilias in France for the first game in the Europa League round of 16. Can we get through to the last 8 in that competition as well? Let's hope so. Well, I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. If you have, don't forget to leave me that big thumbs up, subscribe and hit the notification button. And comments as well, please. That keeps the channel going rather well, keeps you up to date with what's happening as well with regards to Irons in the Fire and our other series, Project Turnaround, which is coming to an end. If it's not already finished, I don't know when my schedule is right now. But we have a new series coming very, very soon. So watch this channel for that. By hitting the notification button, you know you won't miss anything here on the channel. The other way of keeping up to date with what's happening on this channel is to follow me on Twitter at JustOffside2, and it'd be splendid if you did that as well. New episodes of Irons in the Fire released every Monday and Thursday at 4:15 p.m. Thank you for watching. Hope to see you for episode 16. It's out on Monday. Till then, bye-bye.